This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
That's right. Your ride is about to begin. Whoops, it has begun, and we are on Cruise Control. So are you. I'm Fred Staab, and as always, along with me is Les Jackson. Les, how you doing?
Hey, very, very well. Thank you, Fred. And I know that you're very eager to spill the beans about some goings-on at the car companies. I know I am.
Absolutely. There's always new models coming out, new technology to talk about, and tips that we can give you if you're buying a vehicle. Are you a M2 fan, Les? Because BMW brought out the new M2 this week, and we're going to have all kind of information on it. That gray color has become very popular in the auto industry, and I have to say I kind of like it.
It's quite handsome. It's the long hood.
And short rear deck.
Short rear deck. That means sporty.
That
of course,
says
the
sporty.
M, you better believe it's sporty. And one manufacturer says, well, maybe we're going to start building sedans again. And we're going to try and hold them to it.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And there's a big reason why they're going to do it. We'll tell you about that. And then over at Nissan, say goodbye to the GTR. They're sending this generation of GTR off to the races in the sky, and they've got a couple of special editions. Who doesn't like special editions? I know the dealers like special editions.
Of course.
To send them off, I'm sure they're already sold out, but we will tell you about that, won't we?
That is an underappreciated performance car.
Yep.
It is just so advanced. Well, anyway, we'll talk about it later. And we're talking tech, of course. The world's fastest charging electric car. And what's a disturbing trend happening at many charging stations? Well, we saw this coming, but we'll talk about both.
Yeah, we sure will. And, the fastest charging car is a Lotus. We don't get to talk about Lotus much.
That's right.
But we will. We will this hour. And then I'm going to have an at-the-wheel review of the 38-mile-to-gallon Toyota Crown Signia. This is a just-out car. Really looks good. Crossover, I should say. And it is a new model of the Crown. The Crown is the vehicle that replaced the Avalon, and the Crown is sort of a sedan, a high-riding sedan. This is sort of a high-riding station wagon, Les.
Sure looks station wagon-y to me.
And we're lucky to drive it. This is a prototype, a pre-production vehicle, so we got it right away, and we're going to bring the information right to you on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We will be right back. We set out the table, and we're going to go through those stories, so stay tuned. You're listening to Cruise Control with Fred Staab and Les Jackson.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. We're going to start off with the BMW M2, which is, high performance, I think is the word we're looking for.
Yes.
It's all new this year. It's new interior, exterior. They say it's freshened. Looks pretty different outside and inside. And it's not cheap, but you're getting an awful lot of money. Awful lot for your money. You have a big rear window to see everybody who you're quickly accelerating away from.
Yeah.
Lots.
I always liked it when the car had those bulging fenders, the power bulges as they call them, I guess.
Right.
And so someone that we were just talking about would appreciate this. More power for the compact high-performance vehicle.
Power.
Rear drive sports coupe, a BMW curved display with iDrive 8.5 and M specific graphics, new interior and exterior details, freshened in appearance, and the base MSRP is $64,900 plus $1,175 destination and handling. Worldwide launch to commence in August 2024. Get your invite, Les Jackson.
And you're going to have twin turbo power.
Yes.
With 473 horsepower screaming out of those 4 exhaust pipes.
Yes, this is straight 6.
Plenty of torque, straight 6, the venerable BMW straight 6.
Yep.
Just keeps getting more and more powerful.
Yeah.
This is quite a machine.
Yeah. New steering wheel, new seat surfaces, M carbon bucket seats now available as an individual option. I bet that is an expensive option. M specific operating concept, extensive standard equipment. As you said, it has 473 horsepower at 6,250 RPM, and that is pretty stout for a car like this, isn't it?
That's right, and it has gear shift assistant, so it'll rev match itself for shifting up or down, or you can do it manually, like a real driver.
You can get 3 pedals in this. 6-speed manual transmission.
That is right. So nobody can steal it because it has 3 pedals.
Unless you buy the 8-speed automatic transmission.
Right.
So,
right.
I remember my M3. We did that at a track in Pennsylvania. And that was the first time I got into the flappy panels because I was unaware of them before that, and I was very impressed. For on a track, it's great. It is great. Slow down for the turns with them, and So I don't know. I maybe would get the 8-speed automatic transmission in this.
I would get the Steptronic transmission and just use the paddles and let it be an automatic for regular driving.
For everyday use, yeah.
Yeah, it is electronically limited to 177, which
well, there you go.
By the way, is enough to get a ticket here in the United States.
It's enough to get arrested here in the United States.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a felony, I believe.
You'd better be able to talk yourself out of things like that really well,
or talk it down to let's just say probably best to show the officer your license when you're stopped and be like, I really was way out of line here. So, and
well, I think the thing to do is buy it with the buy it overseas and and drive around Germany and then ship it over plan, and then go on the Autobahn, go as fast as you want, and have fun, and then when you get home, you're here.
Yes. Although it would be a great vehicle for track days, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Although I don't know, $64,000 for track day, you start worrying about scratches and dents and
somebody that's like, I can pass him.
yeah.
Cool.
Or worse, you get some trailing throttle oversteer and you slide yourself backwards off the track and run through all kinds of gravel and shrubs.
Bad.
Fast. So and that tends to unbuff the paint.
All right, well, we're going to buff up the paint a little bit and be back on cruise control, so stay tuned. We're just getting started. The Cruise Control live stream starts at 10 a.m. Eastern every Saturday. Tune in on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Don't forget to check us out on all our social media platforms. Just look for Cruise Control or Cruise Control Radio. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. He's very excited about this next story. Comes from the Ford Authority. Ford CEO Jim Farley says his company could build sedans again. Remember, Ford got out of the sedan business. They were one of the first major manufacturers to do so, weren't they?
Well, they were. I'm sure it was a good financial decision. It wasn't very popular.
I mean, GM just got out of it with getting rid of the Malibu, right?
Yeah. So now they've got Ford has the Mustang, Chevrolet has the Corvette. Those are the sedans. Well,
sort
cars.
of. Cars, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-SUVs, non-crossovers. Well, this was in Ford Authority, and the bottom line, Jim Farley says, CEO of Ford, the bottom line is sedans are very aero, and in a world where batteries are expensive, a super aero car like a sedan or a hatch is a great silhouette for aero. He stated this during an interview with Matt Farrar of the Smoking Tire. And he's saying if we do one, it's probably going to feel and look and smell a lot different than other people's. We don't want to do generic vehicles. And he says he doesn't want to make boring cars. And that's one of his big goals. I would say I wouldn't want to make cars that don't sell.
Well,
because what's the point of that? Just to like reform some metal into something else? You know, I saw an article about coming out in Europe. They're going to bring back the Capri. And as a very swoopy four-door, I'm wondering if something like that doesn't make it to the U.S. I like the original Capri very much. Not the one that was just a mildly modified Mustang, but I'm talking about the European Capri.
Right. I had one. I had one back in the late 70s. It was a terrific car.
Rusted away, though. They had rust problems.
No, mine wasn't rusty. The engine just was one of those engines that would just keep running and running.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, fun car.
I always thought they looked cool. I never drove one, but I remember as a kid thinking like, "Ooh, that would be kind of cool to try one of those." And I just like the quad headlight look and all that. But if you can search around on the web and say new Capri, you would, I think you would see this might tie into what Jim Farley was saying. Jim Farley, the Ford CEO, right. Because it is a very, very swoopy four-door car, and it could certainly lend itself to having great aerodynamics for sure. So
I would love for them to, as a nostalgia thing, to bring the Capri's signature map light, which was a light on a stalk on the passenger's A-pillar. And it was a little chrome light, and that was the map light.
And so someone would sit there. You think about it. Is anyone sitting there reading a map?
No.
So
good point. You bring up a very good point.
But it would be fun. You could use the light for anything. It would be fun.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. Should let us know in the comments. What do you think? Should Ford get back into the sedan business? Because once upon a time, if you were a full-line automaker, you had trucks, sedans, compact cars, and that concept kind of has gone away. Once again, I can think of Kia still does it, and they do have a pickup truck, which they don't sell here, but they probably would like to. But very few manufacturers, maybe Volkswagen might do it. They don't have a pickup truck, but they'd like to sell one here. Yeah, Hyundai as well. So there you have it. Hey, let's talk about Nissan. Nissan is saying goodbye to the GTR. Very, very nice car that's been around for quite some time. And they are saying goodbye to it. Of course, that means there will be some special models to say goodbye with. It is the R35 generation of the GTR. They will say goodbye with the T-Spec Takumi and the Skyline limited editions. And they're going to start pricing for the 2024 Nissan GTR limited editions will start at a manufacturer's suggested retail price. This is the suggested retail price of $151,090 for the T-Spec Takumi model and $131,090 for the Skyline edition. Both will be arriving at select Nissan dealers this summer. Fewer than 200 units will be available. Future collectible right there.
Yeah. Well, it's, the GTR, that they're collectible, period. So, quite a machine. You've driven them.
I've driven them. And pretty amazing vehicles. And these goodbye models, man, what do you think they're going to trade for? Not 151 and 130 something. I bet double that.
I think it'll be double that.
Yeah. Carbon ceramic brakes, all high-end things like that. I don't know. Now, in another related story, there's some discussion that the next model will be, the next GTR will likely be an electric vehicle, and it will have solid-state batteries in 2028. Little teaser there. What do you think?
I think that's what it'll be.
Yeah.
Nissan usually, when they basically say, well, we're going to probably do this, they're saying, well, we're going to do this. So, yeah, I think it'll be electric. I think it'll be just blindingly fast.
Faster than these current models, probably.
Oh, yeah. Probably all-wheel drive.
Yeah. I think all 200 of them will probably be sold out very quickly. And as I say,
think so.
We like to look for future collectibles here. And, I think that is one of them. Maybe this next one might be one, too. We're talking about Lotus. Lotus has an interesting bit of technology here. The Lotus EMEA, if I'm saying that correctly, achieves the record-breaking charging time from 10% to 80% of battery power in 14 minutes.
That
good-looking vehicle, by the way, too.
It is good-looking. That's really almost an unbelievable short time.
Well, what do you need for that? You need a DC fast charger. It can take up to 450 kilowatts. So the question is, can you find that charger to do that?
Ask me that in about 8 years.
Exactly.
And I'll say yes.
And we should say you always hear this number, well, up to 80%, because charging slows down. Some manufacturers say you shouldn't charge beyond 80%, but that's like telling me, oh, just fill your fuel tank up to 3/4. Most people are going to charge it all the way up. I know I would want to, because you're there. It's like, why would you, not do that? It's sort of like going to the supermarket and saying, well, I bought all my items, but I'm not going to go to the dairy department. So I can come back at another time and get my eggs. So we'll talk a little bit more about this technology with this Lotus, and a disturbing trend talking about charging that is happening at a lot of charging stations. Another dumb thing. So we'll talk about that next on Cruise Control. Fred Staab, Les Jackson. We will be right back. Stay tuned. You're on Cruise Control with Fred Staab and Les Jackson.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. We're going to take you over to the Lotus Company.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about lotuses or loti.
Is that the plural? I just made that up.
I don't know which, but we don't talk about them often, but they're really a very well-respected company.
Hey, Les, this is a swoopy sedan like we were just talking about.
This is a sedan and a high-performance sedan. It's EV. Mm-hmm. And it's, they claim, the fastest charging time from 10% to 80%, which before the break, Fred was saying that, once you reach 80%, the charging has to slow down so that it doesn't overheat the battery. And this is true of all of them. But 14 minutes is, man, that's almost as the amount of time it takes to fill your car.
Yeah.
With gas. If you consider filling it, paying with your credit card, cleaning the windshield with the filthy
right, the
windshield cleaning.
The water that has never been changed, yeah.
Oh, not since 1968.
Yep.
But yeah, you easily kill 14 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. Do you know they are future-proofing this car to be able to charge with 800-volt charging systems? My gosh.
That's, whew.
You could weld with that, can't you?
You could weld an aircraft carrier with that. Yeah, but that, again, and the battery itself is getting tremendous current density, so it has to be cooled, which, of course, they know that.
Even the cable has to be cooled, right?
Even the cable.
And funny we should mention cables, Les Jackson, because there is a disturbing trend now in a number of states where people are coming in and when a car is not connected to it, they are chopping off the cables that go to the cars and thus disabling the charging station. So you get there, you see on your nav that there's a charging station there, and you get there and there's no cables because they've been lopped off. I asked when we were talking about this during the break, do you think this is like catalytic converter theft for the copper, which has gone up in price tremendously, or is it just somebody trying to say, I don't want electric cars? So,
I think it's. I believe it's both. I think that there are just vandals out there who inherently like to break stuff, like to keep other people from using stuff. Just like they tip over your trash cans and they, break windows out in abandoned houses. It's just something. But then there are the others that are anti-electric, anti-everything that they're not, and they want to make it real difficult for you to charge your car. So they tend to cut off the cables or somehow disable the charging stations. I've gone to charging stations a few times and seen the cables were gone. So
clipped off?
What do
you mean just like there's a
cut
stump?
off? Oh yeah, I mean there's like this much cable hanging off of where it was supposed to be connected.
Supposedly they can get $20 a cable, so 20 stolen cables means $400. And they actually have video of this on this story where they showed a guy in a truck just come up with shears and just shear them off. You could see him, like he doesn't even. There's clear video of him doing this,
Well, but surely that guy is going to be visited by the police. That's grand theft.
Yeah, you're destroying property too. So, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes. I just hope we don't have another trend of catalytic converter style theft.
Yeah, or air conditioning condenser tubing.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's terrible. It's terrible stuff. But anyway, we'll have to monitor that for sure. Here's some good news, Les. You don't get this often, but the 2025 Mazda 3 has gotten a price reduction. It's actually cheaper. It starts now at $23,950, which is $220 cheaper than 2024. And apparently the equipment level is the same. That's pretty good news, isn't it?
That's good news. That doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
It does happen.
Time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't expect it.
No.
Well, it's good. I mean, they're passing on whatever savings they're getting in production.
Yeah, and because normally it would not get passed on, it would just get, kind of incorporated. So, let's talk about the Genesis GV80 Coupe coming to the U.S. Coupe, you and I have talked about this previously. Coupe to us means a two-door, but now anything with a kind of a fastback and a hatch and four doors is considered a coupe.
It's a coupe.
It's a coupe. Not cheap, but we have some pricing on this. It starts at $79,950. That is a 3.5T coupe all-wheel drive, $79,950. 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, 375 horsepower, 8-speed automatic, electronically controlled suspension with road preview. That's where it knows what's happening with the road by GPS, and it will set your car up to handle it. Safe exit assist, 10 airbags. I mean, it's a huge list. If you want more power, you can get the 3.5e supercharger coupe all-wheel drive, and that MSRP is $85,750. With then you have to add the $1,350 freight to that. And then that has a 48-volt E supercharger, 409 horsepower, 405 pound-feet of torque, monoblock front brakes, and quad muffler tips.
That's we both agree Genesis is just a magnificent brand.
Oh, absolutely.
But they have never been bashful about charging a lot of money.
No.
Still better than some of the German competitors who are much more money.
Maybe double in certain cases.
Yeah, can be. But they're really great cars.
Yeah. Hey, Volkswagen's going to be updating 5 of their vehicles for the 2025 model year. One of my favorites, the Golf GTI, it gains and loses. It gains a bigger screen on the inside. It gains potentially more horsepower, maybe 20 more horsepower, but it loses the option to have a manual. So you'll only be able to have the DSG transmission. So that is a big change there. They're going to have a Volkswagen R. I think that a Golf R which will have 329 horsepower. Which is amazing, and
that's enough for a Golf.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And we're told that the Jetta and the enthusiast-friendly Jetta GTI will get a round of updates in 2025 as well. The compact Taos. So yeah, it's got there's a lot of updates going on, and then the Buzz, the VW Buzz minivan, or I shouldn't say minivan, van. Will be coming in, and I'm sure will be in high demand and be high markups as well.
It will be in high demand because, of course, it looks like the wonderful old VW microbus.
Yes. Yes.
and people love them.
Yeah.
They hated them when they were actually selling back in the day, but
Right.
let's face it, they're cute.
Yeah, they're cute. So, coming up, I'm going to have a review of the Toyota Crown Signia, which is their SUV version, or station wagon version, I'll even call it, of their Crown. Of course, the Crown replaced the Avalon in their lineup. Their Avalon was their big sedan. The Crown is sort of a large, high-riding sedan. But the Signia is sort of the station wagon version of that, and we're going to talk about that and more when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine at the wheel time coming up. So stay tuned because we've got plenty more to go. We'll be right back. You're on Cruise Control with the latest automotive industry news and new vehicle reviews. Cruise Control is your on-air automotive magazine.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. It's time again for an at-the-wheel review. We're very lucky this time. This vehicle just came out, and we are talking about the Toyota Crown Signia. Now, don't get it twisted. This is the sort of station wagon version of the Toyota Crown. The Toyota Crown replaced the Avalon, and that is kind of a high-riding sedan that sort of, well, it looks like a sedan, but it kind of drives like an SUV. Now, over at Toyota, they decided to make the Signia. The Signia has the silhouette of a crossover. What's unique about this is it has a painted grille, so it's not the black grille that you see on the Crown. It almost looked like when it rolled into my driveway like an electric vehicle because it has a body color grille. The silhouette is that of a high station wagon, almost like an XC60 from Volvo. That was the silhouette picture that I got of it, and really a clean looking vehicle. All hybrids, all wheel drive, so you cannot get it with front wheel drive. They're all wheel drive, and they're all hybrids. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Overall, very clean look for this. Pronounced hips on the vehicle. You might say the greenhouse is a little short and the doors are a little tall. Premium all the way around. A lot of piano black on the outside. On the inside, I think this interior is, or should be, the future of Toyota. Leather seating surfaces on both models that are available with some bronze accents, nice stitching. And overall, the interior has a premium feel. Everything from the switchgear to the materials on the door cards, the bronze accents, it all feels good. It all feels like it is premium and even better than some of the great interiors that Toyota normally does. Great display of analog style looking gauges. And then we have a 12.3-inch screen that is huge. And look at that. Actual controls for heating and air conditioning. It is really nice. Heated seats, everything's there. Clear displays, easy to use. You're not distracted by anything. You don't have to go through menus or a touch screen to get to it. Center console is fun. Got the shorty shifter that works really well. Once again, with bronze accents on it and easy to use. There is a wireless phone charger that you drop your phone in there. It's going to stay nicely, firmly in there. Lots of little cubbies and things for keys, and so just things don't slide around. Well designed. Once again, all premium feel. Even the center console was lined, so when you have stuff in there, it's not going to rattle and fall around. They've made this vehicle, by the way, this was a pre-production vehicle, Les. They made this vehicle very quiet with acoustic glass and lots of insulation. Out back, great leg room, plenty of room for your legs, and a neat feature is the seats fold basically flat. So you have a flat load floor, and I've never seen this before. They have a little panel that flips out it folds down on the back of the seat, and it flips out to extend the flat area out to 6.5 feet. So it's sort of like buying a home as well. It's sort of, you can sleep back there. Overall, just a clean detail on the inside, premium materials, nice design. I'd like to see some of these things integrated into the rest of the Toyota lineup. Out back, you have the light bar across the back, and as I said, piano black styling on the bumper. Once again, nicely appointed on the inside. They say this is the Lexus without being a Lexus, and we have some remote seat releases. I didn't see a PowerPoint, which was interesting, that not to see that. No spare tire because the hybrid battery is there. Now, all get the same power train. 240 horsepower is a hybrid system. Crown actually gets 100 more horsepower at 340. These all get 240. I thought it did wonderful on the highway. I took this on some highway driving. We had the limited version, which comes with these 21-inch wheels, which is a differentiator. And you can see all of them have the black trim, a lot of piano black trim around the wheel wells. The roof is blacked out. Ours was the limited model, and they keep the pricing pretty simple, which is another trend in the automotive industry where they're not having a lot of different models and trim levels. So you can get the XLE model, which comes with the standard radio, non-glass roof, and smaller wheels. That's at $43,590. Or you can get the Toyota Crown Limited model, which is $47,990. That's what we had, and then there's a few ups and extras, including advanced technology for $1,865. That gives you panoramic view monitor, traffic jam assist, front cross traffic alert, lane change assist, front and rear parking assist, and then you can upgrade the premium paint colors. This was Storm Cloud, which I thought was a nice color, so there was no extra for that. But if you want finish line red, oxygen white, or bronze age, that would be $425 additional on top of this. Now, I've seen some other people describe this as a vehicle that doesn't know what it wants to be or whatever, but I think when I can get a 38 mile to the gallon vehicle in this size, Les, all-wheel drive, every option. I mean, I think it's actually a good deal for that price. Very quiet, extremely quiet vehicle. As I said, acoustic glass all around and sound insulation, which makes a big difference. It's smart looking. It is like a big station wagon. Great visibility. I easily got 38 miles to the gallon in this big vehicle. Some may say if you're smaller in stature, they don't like the high belt line. It's just a style thing. It's a pronounced hip on the car. You can't really see it in the video, but it's a pronounced hip, which is a nice styling feature. It did remind me, actually, of Volvo. It reminded me of a Volvo XC60, actually, so kind of a low-roof SUV. I think it will be a hit for the folks at Toyota. Premium feel. You could say there's some overlap in their lineup, like Venza and some of the other vehicles people might cross shop, but the mileage, to get that hybrid mileage and all-wheel drive and a premium interior and the ease of ordering, like the, for lack of a better term, base model, which is the XLE, has everything on it. You wouldn't have to, I don't think there are any options other than things like the first aid kit and if you want lighted sills and things like that. But you really don't have to get any options on it. But really got to give props to the designers on the interior of this vehicle, and they just do a great job with their graphics. They're so clear. They look so rich. They look so upscale. You do get a tuning knob, which is nice on the radio, and as I said, those controls are really great. I like the fact that they've gone away from the big mouth grille and made it color keyed to the body. I think that looks really good. I think it takes a page from electric vehicles, but obviously this has a gas engine, so it is a functional grille. But I think it looks good. I like the body color grille, and overall I like the design. What do you think? Just taking a look.
I think it is an attractive vehicle. I'm not real thrilled with the 21-inch tires, but and I'm very curious whether you had a choppy ride.
Not at all. Quiet and smooth. And you can get the smaller wheels on the XLE.
That's great.
If you want.
That's great. And I'm sure very comfortable. I'm sure as planted and stable as anything can be on the roads.
As my dad used to say, a smooth car, they called it mashed potatoes. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's what he called it.
Well, it's a good description.
Yeah, so very smooth, very quiet.
Yeah.
And Toyota Crown Signia. Time for me to say, I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.